Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano. In U.S. news, a killer whale at SeaWorld Amusement Park in Central Florida killed a trainer on Wednesday, police and company executives said. She was rubbing the killer whale's head and it dragged her into the pool, said Chuck Tompkins, corporate curator of zoological operations at SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment. 40-year-old Dawn Branchew, a trainer with 16 years of experience at SeaWorld, was dead when rescue officials arrived, said Orange County Sheriff spokesman Jim Solomons. Media reports said the orca at the park's Shamu Stadium grabbed the woman by the waist, thrashed her about, and took her underwater. The trainer was killed just before the part of a public performance, and the stadium was immediately evacuated. Dan Brown, president of SeaWorld Orlando, said the victim was one of the park's most experienced trainers and that she drowned. There was conflicting reports about how the incident occurred. The Orlando Centennial quoted a spectator as saying the whale came up from the water and grabbed the trainer by the waist. The sheriff's official report said preliminary accounts indicated she slipped and fell in, but that was still under investigation. The Florida park is owned by Blackstone Group, a private equity company that also owns part of the Universal Orlando theme park. A spokesperson for SeaWorld in San Diego said killer whale shows had suspended following the death in Orlando. We canceled the show this afternoon in light of the incident in Orlando. We'll look at it again tomorrow, said SeaWorld spokesman David Koontz. We're very saddened by the loss of a SeaWorld family member. According to the Orlando Centennial, the orca involved in the incident, known as Tilly, has a controversial past. Now on to Brandon with international news.
Thanks again, Angie. In today's international news, a new French anti-smoking advertisement aimed at the young that plays off a pornographic stereotype has gotten more attention than even its creators intended. And critics suggest that it offends common decency and creates a false analogy between oral sex and smoking. France has banned smoking in cafes, bars, and restaurants, but smoking is still increasing among the young in France. According to the French Office for the Prevention of Smoking, prompting an anti-tobacco organization called Non-Smokers' Rights to create the ad. The slogan is bland enough. To smoke is to be a slave to tobacco. But it accompanies photographs of an older man, his torso seen from the side, pushing down on the head of a teenage girl with a cigarette in her mouth. Her eyes are at belt level, glancing upward fearfully. The cigarette appears to emerge from the adult's trousers. Marco Fuente, vice president of BDDP and Phil's, the advertising firm that created the campaign, said that the ads were not designed to either please or to shock people, but to change, to put back into the news a topic that we don't talk about enough, which threatens young people. According to the French Office for the Prevention of Smoking, between 2004 and 2009, the percentage of daily smokers among French 14-year-olds rose to 8% from 5%. Among 16-year-olds, it increased from 18% to 14%, and a quarter of 18-year-olds are daily smokers. The anti-smoking campaign was started after being viewed favorably by high school students. For 18 years, he said, we did it gently, on the health aspect, with deteriorated lungs, but young people feel invincible, even immortal. Using sex is a way to get their attention, and if it's necessary to shock, let's shock. The French Office for the Prevention of Smoking doubted the ads would work. They feel the ads will shock adults while not scaring kids. And now to Angie with a little bit of entertainment news.
When you've got a serious leak, it's time for Leak Ender 2000. It fixes any leak fast, no matter what's leaking. Just spray it with Leak Ender 2000, and in minutes, the leak is sealed. Look, we'll cut this garden hose with a knife, then shut off the water and spray on Leak Ender 2000. Minutes later, the hose is as good as new. The cut is sealed. Leak Ender 2000 is a unique compound that fills and seals any crack or separation as it hardens. Why put up with gushing gutters, dripping drains, wet windowsills, and rain-soaked RVs? Leak Ender 2000 stops all those leaks, and it's yours for only $14.95. Call now and we'll double your order. We'll send you this giant-size can at no extra charge. Order now.
To order, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-936-0300 or send check or money order for $14.95 plus $5.95 shipping to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-936-0300.
Thank you, Brandon. On Tuesday, Abby Sunderland, the 16-year-old who is trying to become the youngest female sailing solo, wrote on her blog. She said, "I finally got some good wind. I'm close hauled with about 15 knots out of the southeast. I've had to go a little farther west than I would have liked, but the wind should be shifting around soon, coming more from the east, so I'll be able to head directly south. It's a bit bumpy out today. Wild Eyes is plowing along and doing great." Now on to Brandon with financial news.
Thanks again, Angie. And now for today's financial news. Stocks rebounded from a two-day slide as Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke told Congress that low interest rates are still needed to support the economy. Bernanke sounded an upbeat note and about a recovery as part of his regular semi-annual report to Congress on the economy. He told the House Financial Services Committee that he still expects interest rates will remain low for an extended period. Investors want to see low-cost borrowing continue to help revive the economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 85 points after sliding. At the same time, a disappointing report on new home sales brought the latest reminder that a recovery in the economy will be difficult and even with government aid. The Commerce Department said sales of new homes fell to a record low in January. Economists expected an increase. The government said that new home sales fell off 11.2% last month to a seasonably adjusted annual sales rate of 309,000 units. That's the lowest rate on record that goes back nearly 50 years. Housing has been a big concern for investors who this week have been worrying about consumer spending. A surprising drop in consumer confidence reminded investors of the fragility of the economic recovery and sent stocks sliding. In early afternoon trading, the Dow rose 0.8% and the S&P 500 index rose 0.8% as well. And the NASDAQ Composite Index rose 1.1%. Bond prices mostly fell, pushing yields higher. The yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury note was unchanged at 3.69%. The dollar fell against other major currencies because low interest rates make the currency a less attractive investment. The drop in the dollar lifted prices of commodities, which become cheaper for foreign buyers when the dollar falls. The gain in commodity prices, in turn, lifted energy and material stocks. Investors keep watch over interest rates because low-cost cash has been one of the biggest drivers of the stock market's rebound since 2009 in March. By keeping rates low, the Fed makes it cheaper for businesses and consumers to borrow and help stimulate our economy.
Thank you, Brandon. Now in today's fashion. Until about 3 years ago, Bebe's sexy styles for party and professional wear made the retailer a favored shopping destination with American fashionistas. Then the hemlines grew a little too short, the colors turned mundane, and the recession hit the United States, pushing the pricey retailer out of favor with its core 18 to 25-year-old customers. But starting this year, new cuts and colors started arriving under Chief Merchandising Officer Kathy Fong Lee, raising hopes that the company is finally on the right track to grow its top line once more. Along with the turnaround merchandise, Bebe is also trying out ideas to woo back her younger shoppers, including introducing a line in collaboration with socialite Kim Kardashian and her sisters. On February 5th, the company said comparable sales in January were down 13%, a marked improvement over the 22.5% decline it saw for the second quarter ending January 2nd. And Chief Executive Manny Mushoff said the company was already seeing some of its younger customers come back. Sure enough, Christina Salgado, an Arizona-based PR manager, said she was pleasantly surprised by a Bebe Stores collection on a recent visit. Bebe's recent launch of the Kardashian line, which made its debut at New York Fashion Week, is set to offer a platform to show off the changes at the company, though the line itself may not necessarily translate into better overall sales for the company. The line is a small component of the overall business. If anything, it is being used to draw attention to Bebe's improved assortment, Wall Street Strategies analyst Brian Saucy said. Curious shoppers who walk into stores to see the new range could end up picking clothes off the core Bebe line. The company is hyping up the Kardashian line on its website, Facebook, and through emails to spur interest, and looks to be working, Sapna Shah, principal at research and consulting firm Retail iPartner, said. At one store that is previewing the line before it is available throughout the chain, we saw good shopper response, and many of the dresses and tops already saw sellouts on the first day of availability.
Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.